Hey.
Are you sweating? Didn't you use Old Spice dry spray?
Of course I did.
Don't lie to me! Old Spice has long-lasting sweat protection!
Okay, I lied.
What's the best way to invest $1,000 right now this year? Well, it's not stocks, it's not crypto, it's...
Let me show you exactly how to use OBS Studio from scratch, and I'll cover everything you see inside of OBS Studio that you need to know if you're trying to stream online or if you're trying to record a gameplay or your screen. And OBS Studio, if you've never heard of it before, is a free application. You could download it for Windows PC. It works on Mac and Linux. And again, it's used for video recording. You could record a camera, for example, like what I'm doing here. You could record a webcam. You could live stream to any platform. It live streams to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, pretty much any platform. I'll show you the full list when we jump in. And you could basically use OBS Studio's advanced options too, to basically create a virtual studio. And you just need this free app to do it. There are some more advanced things, some other things that I recommend if you're trying to take this to the next level. But for beginners, you don't need anything but OBS Studio. I'll mention some useful things and I'll link everything in the description to make it easy to find. Let's jump in. Now to get started with OBS Studio, make sure you have the latest version of the official app. They've had a lot of changes recently, so I'm updating this video because of that. And once you do install it, this is basically the interface of OBS. So I'll briefly explain what you're looking at here, but I want to really dive into how to set it up, and then I'll show you exactly what you're looking at as we go along. But at a brief glance, right here is basically where your stream or your video recording is going to show, right over here. This is your canvas. And down here, you have these things called scenes. I'll go in more detail on what these are. Sources are basically different camera angles you could add to it, images, different video clips, all kinds of different sources could be added here. I'll explain this as well. This is your audio mixer. So what you see here is the level from my microphone. Scene transitions I'll explain as well. And this is your control. So if you start streaming, this is where you would click. Once you set it up, there are some settings you need to know about before you do that. Same with recording, same with studio mode. So we'll explain that in the settings, but I'll get to that in a second. Right now, the very first thing I typically like to go over is these things called scenes. Now what scenes are, basically you could have many different scenes and they could each be for a specific purpose. For a long time, I only had one scene that had multiple sources inside of it. But I'll show you how to make a second scene in a second. But right now, by default, you will have something called a scene. So what you could do is you could rename the scene, right? So what am I recording here? I'm going to do a screen capture tutorial. Let's say that's the kind of scene I want to build. Let's say if it was a gameplay, you would just name it whatever this is going to be as your scene. The second step you want to set up is the source. So let me go ahead and click on the plus sign here. These are all the different sources that you could actually add. So you could, for example, have an image that's part of your scene. You could have a video capture device. That's basically your webcam or a camera I'm using here. You could record your screen. So screen capture, I'm on a Mac here. So it says Mac OS screen capture. On older OBS, it was just called display capture. So if you have an older version of OBS, you have display capture. And you could set one of these or multiple different layers to it. So let me show you exactly how this works. I'm going to go ahead and do a video capture device. That's going to be the webcam that's going to kick on. And you could name any one of these. So this is going to be my iMac screen. So I'm going to name it iMac. I'll press OK. And then you're going to get this window. So you want to choose your device. So the FaceTime HD camera, if you have a built-in webcam or an external webcam or an external camera, you'll see that on the list as long as it's connected onto your computer. So choose that. And I'll switch over here to my webcam to walk you through the rest of it. This is just a built-in webcam on my computer. For preset, you want to choose high here. So I'm going to leave it on high, but you can actually lower it to some of these other options like 720p. I recommend you just leave this the same and press OK. So now you basically have a scene that looks like this. Now it has some black parts to it, so if you record a screen, it's not going to look right. So you want to grab the corner here and basically stretch this out to fill your window. Do the same thing with your webcam if you're choosing a webcam. Now if you look down here, I haven't added a new scene. This is just a scene that was there by default, but I do have a video capture device. I could always turn this off and on this way. Okay. Now let me show you how to add another source. So I'm going to press the plus sign, and this time I'm going to capture my screen as well. So this is a tutorial. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to capture my screen. I record a lot of tutorials this way. If I capture the screen, this is fine. I'm going to press OK. It's going to add another source. Now my method is display capture. You could also do individual windows or applications. I'm going to just capture the whole screen here, and it's going to be the built-in display resolution. And you can show the cursor or not. I always choose to show it if I'm doing some kind of demonstration, and I could press OK right over here. Now if it doesn't quite fit, sometimes it's going to be much bigger like this. You'll need to kind of drag in the corners here and make sure it fits this canvas. So these red lines are going to show you that it's going to fit the canvas like this. So now I'm behind here. So if I turn off the capture, I'm behind it, and this is on top of it. So if I wanted to put myself on top, I could grab myself and put it on the top here. So it becomes a top layer like this. Now the screen is behind me. The useful thing when you do that is you could do this thing called picture in picture. So you could shrink yourself down. You can put yourself right in the corner. It has this weird picture in picture effect because of the way I'm capturing the screen, but I could just turn this off right over here. So you get the idea. Basically that screen is going to show up in the background. Right now OBS is open, so that's what it's showing. And I'm here in the corner. So this is a useful double. A lot of tutorials, for example, gameplays will utilize an option like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn